Have you ever spent hours cleaning only to feel like your house still looks messy or that the dirt comes back too quickly? Maybe you think you're doing everything right, but without realizing it, you're making mistakes that make cleaning less effective or even more difficult than it should be. What nobody tells you is that it's not about cleaning more, but about cleaning better. There are small flaws in your cleaning routine that may be sabotaging your efforts, causing dust to return sooner than expected, bad odors not disappearing completely, or surfaces never being spotless. Today, I'm going to reveal to you the 7 most common cleaning mistakes and how to fix them. Mistakes that most people make without realizing it, but that once corrected, will keep your house clean for longer with much less effort. And stay until the end, because the last mistake is the most important and may be affecting the health of your home without you knowing it. Cleaning is a task that we all do, but have you stopped to think if you are really doing it in the best way? Many times we follow habits that we believe are effective without realizing that they may be making cleaning more difficult and less lasting. We wipe the cloth, mop the floors, wash the dishes, but despite the effort, the house doesn't feel as clean as it should. In hotels, in the most organized homes, and in professional cleaning methods, there is a golden rule. It's not about how much time you spend cleaning, but how you do it. There are details that seem small, but they make all the difference. Do you use the right product for each surface? Do you know in what order to clean so as not to dirty what you already cleaned again? Do you make sure you kill bacteria in the right places? Today, we are going to discover the 7 most common cleaning mistakes and how to correct them. Some of them may be causing your house to get dirty faster, causing bad odors to persist, or causing you to spend more time than necessary. But when you correct them, you will notice a big difference in the cleanliness and the time it takes to keep it spotless. So let's start with the first mistake, which may be causing the dust in your house to never completely go away. Before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell for more cleaning tricks. And tell me in the comments, what country are you watching us from? Now let's move on to the first error. One of the most common mistakes, and one that many people make without realizing it, is cleaning in the wrong order. Have you ever finished cleaning a room, only to notice that dust has returned to the surfaces you had already cleaned? This happens because we do not follow the fundamental rule of professionals. Always clean from top to bottom and inside out. When you wipe down the furniture before dusting the ceiling fan or high shelves, all you're doing is making the mess you've already cleaned all over again. The same thing happens if you mop the floor before dusting the furniture. Dust and dirt must fall to the lowest level before being permanently removed. To correct this mistake, always follow this order. Tall objects first, such as lamps and shelves, then the mid-level furniture, such as tables and desks, and finally, the ground. Plus, it cleans from the inside out in every room, pushing dust and dirt toward the exit instead of moving it aimlessly. Since I started applying this rule, the cleaning lasts longer and I don't have to repeat the job. Now that you know how to clean in the correct order, let's move on to the second mistake, which may be making your surfaces look dirty even if you clean them constantly. Many people believe that the more product you use, the cleaner the house will be. But in reality, this is a mistake that can cause surfaces to get dirty faster and even cause health problems. Excessive cleaners leave a sticky residue that attracts dust and dirt. This is especially common in glass, wood furniture, and flooring. Applying more detergent than necessary does not mean that the surface will be cleaner. In many cases, all it does is leave marks and make you have to clean more frequently. To avoid this mistake, use just the right amount of product and be sure to rinse or dry surfaces properly after applying it. If you use all-purpose cleaners, dilute them in water according to the instructions. And in the case of glass, furniture, and appliances, use a dry microfiber cloth at the end to remove any excess product. Since I started using just the right amount, I've noticed that surfaces stay cleaner longer and I don't have to go over it again and again. Now that you know this, let's move on to the third mistake, which could be spreading bacteria throughout your house without you noticing. This is a mistake that many people make without realizing it. Using the same cloth or sponge to clean different surfaces seems convenient, but in reality, all it does is spread dirt and bacteria from one place to another. Think about this. If you use the same cloth to wipe the dining room table, then the kitchen counter, then the door handles, what you're doing is moving germs from one surface to another without actually removing them. The same goes for sponges in the kitchen. They can accumulate bacteria and bad odors if they are not disinfected correctly. To avoid this problem, assign different cloths for different areas of the house. Use one exclusively for the kitchen, another for the bathroom, and another for furniture. It is also advisable to change sponges regularly and disinfect them by dipping them in water with vinegar or putting them in the microwave for a few seconds. Since I started doing this, I noticed that the surfaces really get clean and that bad smells in the kitchen disappear faster. Now that you know how to prevent bacteria from spreading, let's move on to the fourth mistake, which may be leaving your floors dirtier instead of cleaning them. Cleaning the floor seems like a simple task. Wet the mop, pass it throughout the house, and that's it. But if the water you use is dirty, what you are really doing is spreading that dirt instead of removing it. This is a very common mistake that causes the floors to never really look clean, and worst of all, bacteria and residue accumulate with each pass. Think about this. If you start mopping in the kitchen and then move to the bathroom with the same water, everything you picked up in one area ends up in another. The dark water you see in the bucket is a clear sign that it is no longer cleaning but rather making more dirt. Additionally, if you don't change the mop regularly, the remains of dirt and moisture create the perfect environment for the growth of bacteria and bad odors. Cleaning professionals in hotels and offices follow a basic rule. If the water is no longer clear, it's time to change it. Instead of using a single bucket of dirty water, they split the process into two parts. First, they have a bucket with clean water and disinfectant solution, and another bucket with just water to rinse the mop. After each pass, the mop is rinsed in the clean water before being soaked again with the disinfectant solution. In this way, the cleaning water is always effective and does not drag dirt from one place to another. Another important trick is to choose the type of mop well. Microfiber mops are much more effective at trapping dirt and not just pushing it around like cotton mops. In addition, they can be washed more frequently without accumulating bad odors. Since I started changing the mop water more often and using this two-bucket system, my floors actually got cleaner, and I noticed that they took longer to get dirty again. Not only that, but the environment in the house feels fresher without accumulated odors. Now that you know how to avoid this mistake, let's move on to the fifth one, which may be causing your bathroom to never feel completely clean, no matter how much time you spend cleaning it. One of the most common mistakes when cleaning is to apply a product and rub immediately expecting it to take effect immediately. But the reality is that most cleaning products, especially disinfectants and stain removers, need time to work correctly. If you remove them too quickly, you don't give them a chance to break down dirt and eliminate bacteria effectively. This problem is especially serious in areas like the bathroom and kitchen, where surfaces can accumulate resistant germs. For example, many people spray a cleaner onto the toilet or sink and immediately wipe it off with a rag or sponge. But disinfectants need at least 5 to 10 minutes to eliminate bacteria and fungi completely. If you remove them before, it is as if you had barely used soapy water. The same mistake occurs with degreasing products. If you apply a cleaner to the stove or oven and start scrubbing right away, you're putting in more effort than necessary. Ideally, spray, wait a few minutes, and then wipe with a cloth or sponge. The fat will come off much more easily, and you won't have to scrub as much. Another case where this mistake is common is when cleaning mold in the bathroom. If the tile joints have moisture stains, applying bleach or vinegar and scrubbing immediately won't do much good. The best is spray the product, Let it sit for at least 15 minutes and then rinse or rub gently. This allows the mold to break down and be removed effortlessly. Since I changed my way of cleaning and started respecting the working times of each product, I noticed a big difference. Now, not only do I clean faster, but I also get better results without having to scrub as much. Now that you know how to let products do their job for you, let's move on to the sixth mistake, which could be leaving your clothes smelling bad without you noticing. Putting clothes in the washing machine and forgetting about them for hours, or even all night, is a mistake that can ruin the cleaning result without you realizing it. You may think that nothing happens if wet clothes stay inside for a while before hanging them up. But this habit may be causing your clothes to accumulate an unpleasant odor and bacteria to proliferate in the fabrics. When clothing sits in a humid, unventilated environment for too long, the fibers begin to absorb moisture and create the perfect environment for bacteria and fungi to grow. Not only does this create a bad smell, but it can also cause yellowing stains on white clothes and leave a musty aroma that is difficult to remove, even with another wash. In hotels and professional laundries, this problem is avoided with a simple habit. Take clothes out of the washing machine immediately after the wash cycle ends. If you can't do it at the exact moment, try not to leave it in for more than an hour. The more time passes, the more likely it is that moisture will soak into the fabrics. If for some reason you forgot your clothes in the washing machine and they already have a bad smell, it is not enough to dry them in the sun. It is best to wash it again with half a cup of white vinegar in the rinse cycle. Vinegar neutralizes odors and eliminates any detergent residue or bacteria left on the fabrics. Another trick hotels use to keep clothes smelling fresher for longer is add essential oils to the last rinse or ironing water. A few drops of lavender or eucalyptus oil can keep sheets and towels smelling fresher for longer without the need for artificial fabric softeners. Since I adopted this habit, my clothes always come out of the washing machine fresh, and I no longer have to deal with the annoying musty smell. Now that you know how to avoid this mistake, let's move on to the seventh and final one, which could be affecting the air quality in your home without you realizing it. The air in your home may seem clean, but if you don't pay attention to your air filters and vents, you could be breathing in dust, bacteria, and allergens without realizing it. This is a very common mistake that affects the air quality in the home and may be causing allergy problems, unpleasant odors, and dirt accumulation on all surfaces. Many homes have air conditioning, heating, or air purifier systems, but few care to clean the filters regularly. Over time, these filters accumulate dust, pollen, and suspended particles that, instead of being eliminated, end up returning to the environment every time the system is turned on. If you've ever noticed dust coming back quickly after cleaning or the air in your home feeling heavy, this may be the problem. Another common oversight is not cleaning bathroom and kitchen vents. These areas accumulate grease, moisture, and dirt, which not only affects airflow, but can also lead to bad odors and even mold. In hotels and high-traffic spaces, filters and grills are constantly cleaned to ensure a fresh and healthy environment. To avoid this problem at home, check the filters of your air conditioning, heating, or purifiers at least once a month. If you see dust build up, clean them with a soft brush or wash them with soap and water if the manufacturer allows it. Also, be sure to clean the vents with a damp cloth and a little vinegar to remove any built-up dirt. Since I started doing this, the air in the house feels fresher, dust takes longer to accumulate, and my family has noticed fewer allergies. It is not only about visible cleanliness, but also about taking care of the air we breathe every day. Now that you know the 7 most common cleaning mistakes and how to solve them, let's move on to the conclusion, where I will explain how to apply these changes to your routine so that your house stays spotless with less effort. Now you know the 7 most common cleaning mistakes and how to correct them. Maybe you were cleaning in the wrong order without realizing it, leaving product residue on surfaces or mopping dirty water all over the house. Or maybe you were spreading bacteria with the same sponge in different areas, leaving clothes in the washing machine too long, or breathing in dusty air from not cleaning the ventilation filters. The important thing is not how much time you spend cleaning, but how you do it. Small changes, such as respecting the working time of the products, using different cloths for each area, or changing the water in the mop more frequently, can make a big difference. The key is to make cleaning more efficient, so that the results last longer and your effort is worth it. Now tell me in the comments, which of these mistakes have you made without realizing it? And which of these tricks are you going to apply first in your home? I want to know what advice you found most useful. And before you go, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Here we share the best cleaning tricks and strategies so that your home always looks impeccable without wasting time or effort. See you in the next video.